welcome back to another episode of the Daily English Practice Channel. I'm Anna, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you today on this beautiful day. How are you doing, David?
Hey there, Anna, and hello to all our wonderful listeners around the world. I am doing fantastic, thank you for asking. I'm David, and I've got to tell you, Anna, I have that amazing, lighthearted feeling today. You know why? Because we are talking about my absolute favorite topic in the whole wide world.
Oh, let me guess, David. Is it food? Is it football?
Well, those are great, but no. Today, we are diving deep into talking about the weekend. Just saying the word weekend makes me want to sit back and relax. Today, we are going to teach everyone how to talk about their weekend plans, what they did on the weekend, and all the cool English expressions that go with it.
I love that. The weekend. That's W-E-E-K-E-N-D. The beautiful Saturday and Sunday. For our English learners out there, notice how David and I might say it slightly differently. Sometimes people say on the weekend, and sometimes people say at the weekend. Both are perfectly fine. In American English, we love saying on the weekend. David, what's your favorite thing to do on the weekend?
Oh, Anna, my favorite thing to do on the weekend is to catch up on sleep. That is a great expression for our listeners, to catch up on sleep. It means to sleep extra hours because you didn't sleep enough during the busy work week. I love to sleep in.
Oh, sleep in. Let's pause there and explain that to our listeners. To sleep in means to intentionally stay in bed and sleep later than you usually do on a weekday. For example, from Monday to Friday, I wake up at 6 a.m., but on Saturday, I sleep in until 9 a.m. Do you sleep in late, David?
Oh, you bet I do. I sleep in until 10 a.m. if my dog allows it. But wait, Anna, let's look at the difference between sleeping in and oversleeping. This trips a lot of learners up. Sleeping in is a choice, it's a luxury, it's happy. But oversleeping is an accident. It means you missed your alarm and now you're late for work. Oops, no one wants to oversleep on a Monday.
Exactly. Oversleeping is stressful. Sleeping in is pure bliss. Let's repeat that so it sticks. Sleeping in is a choice. Oversleeping is an accident. Let's do a quick mini role play for our friends listening out there to see how this sounds in a real conversation. David, let's pretend it's Friday afternoon at the office.
Let's do it. I love role plays. Ready? Go.
Hey, David, the week is finally over. Do you have any big plans for the weekend?
Hey, Anna. Not really. I'm actually planning to keep it pretty low-key. I think I'm just going to sleep in tomorrow morning and catch up on some reading. What about you? Are you going to paint the town red?
Oh, I wish. No, I'm just going to do some chores, run some errands, and take it easy.
And scene. That was a short and sweet role play. But wow, Anna, we used so many juicy idioms in just a few seconds. Did you catch them all, listeners? First, I said I want to keep it low-key.
Yes, to keep something low-key, it means to do something quiet, relaxing, and not involving a lot of people or energy. It's the opposite of having a wild, crazy party. If your weekend is low-key, maybe you just watch a movie on the couch or drink some tea. It's very peaceful. David, I love a good low-key Saturday.
Me too, Anna. Low-key Saturdays are the best. But then you asked me if I was going to paint the town red. Oh man, that is a classic idiom. To paint the town red means to go out to bars, clubs, or parties and have a spectacular, wild, and exciting night out. Imagine going out with a big group of friends, dancing all night. That is painting the town red.
Yes, and let's be honest, David, we are a bit too old to paint the town red every weekend now, aren't we?
Hey, speak for yourself, Anna. I still have some dance moves left in me. Just kidding, you're right. My couch is my best friend on Saturday nights. Now, in that role play, you also mentioned two very common phrases, running errands and doing chores. Let's break those down because they are super useful for daily English.
Great idea, David. Let's start with chores. Chores are those routine tasks you have to do inside your house to keep it clean and organized. Think of things like washing the dishes, vacuuming the floor, doing the laundry, or dusting the shelves. Those are household chores. They aren't exactly fun, but they have to be done.
Right. Household chores stay inside the house. Now, errands or running errands means leaving your house to do small tasks or buy things. For example, going to the grocery store to buy food, dropping off a package at the post office, going to the bank, or picking up your clothes from the dry cleaners. You are running errands around town.
That is such an important distinction, David. Chores are inside, errands are outside. So if someone asks you on Monday morning, hey, what did you do on the weekend? You can say, oh, nothing special. I just stayed home, did some chores, and ran a few errands. It sounds so incredibly natural.
It really does. It sounds like a native speaker. Let's practice that sentence together, listeners. Repeat after me. I ran some errands and did some chores. Wonderful. Now, Anna, let's talk about the phrase take it easy. You said you were going to take it easy. What does that mean?
To take it easy simply means to relax, rest, and not exert yourself. Don't worry, don't stress, just chill out. It's actually a very common way to say goodbye to someone on a Friday. You can tell your coworkers, have a great weekend, take it easy. It's like wishing them a peaceful rest.
I love saying that. Take it easy, man. It feels so friendly and supportive. Speaking of the weekend, Anna, what does your absolute perfect, ideal Sunday morning look like? Give us the details.
Oh, my perfect Sunday morning? I wake up without an alarm, so I sleep in, of course. Then I make a nice hot cup of coffee. I love the smell of fresh coffee in the morning. Then I go out for brunch with my close friends. David, do you know what brunch is? Of course you do. You love food.
Oh, you know me too well, Anna. Brunch is the greatest invention in human history. It is a combination of the words breakfast and lunch. B-R-U-N-C-H. Breakfast plus lunch equals brunch. It's that wonderful meal you eat in the late morning or early afternoon, usually between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. And the best part is, you can eat breakfast food like pancakes and eggs or lunch food like burgers and salads at the exact same time.
Yes, it's the ultimate weekend meal. You don't get brunch on a busy Tuesday morning before work. No way. Brunch is strictly a weekend luxury.
Exactly. Now, Anna, what happens if the weekend is over and it's Sunday night? There is a specific feeling that a lot of people get. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, don't remind me, David. You are talking about the Sunday scaries or the Sunday blues.
Yes, the Sunday scaries. Listeners, this is a modern popular slang term. The Sunday scaries refers to that feeling of anxiety, dread, or slight sadness that hits you on Sunday afternoon or evening when you realize the weekend is ending and the work week or school week starts tomorrow on Monday.
Oh, it's a real thing. You're sitting on the couch on Sunday at 6 p.m., enjoying your evening, and suddenly you remember, oh no, I have a big meeting tomorrow morning. Bam! The Sunday scaries arrive. How do you fight the Sunday scaries, David?
Well, Anna, to fight the Sunday scaries, I try to stay positive and think about the things I enjoy at work. Plus, I like to plan a fun dinner for Sunday night so I have something to look forward to. Instead of cooking, I might get some takeout.
Oh, takeout. That's another great word. Takeout is food that you buy from a restaurant but eat at home. You go pick it up or a delivery person brings it to your door and you eat it on your couch while watching your favorite show. No cooking, no dishes. Perfect for a lazy Sunday.
Absolutely. Let's do another mini role play to show our listeners how to talk about a weekend that already happened. Let's pretend it's Monday morning at the office water cooler, and we are talking about our past weekend.
Perfect. Let's begin.
Morning, Anna. How was your weekend? Did you do anything fun?
Hey, David. Oh, it was pretty good, thanks. On Saturday, I caught up on some chores and ran a few errands, but on Sunday, I totally took it easy. I had a fantastic brunch with some friends and then just ordered some takeout in the evening. How about you? Did you paint the town red?
Nah, I kept it completely low-key. I slept in late both days, played some video games, and successfully avoided the Sunday scaries.
Sounds like a successful weekend to me.
And scene. Wow, look at us go, using all our new vocabulary naturally. This is how you build fluency, listeners, by repeating these phrases in different contexts.
Yes, repetition is the key to mastery. Let's do a quick review section right now to help our friends remember everything we covered today. I will say the definition, and David, you can say the word or phrase. Ready?
I am born ready, Anna. Let's do this review.
Okay, first one. To intentionally sleep later than usual because it's the weekend.
That is to sleep in.
Correct. Next, to sleep extra hours because you didn't get enough sleep during the week.
That is to catch up on sleep.
Perfect. What about an accidental mistake where you sleep past your alarm and you're late?
That is oversleeping or to oversleep. Bad news.
Exactly. Next, routine cleaning and organizing tasks inside the house.
Those are household chores or just chores.
Excellent. What about tasks outside the house, like buying groceries or going to the post office?
That is running errands.
What does it mean to keep things quiet, peaceful, and relaxing?
To keep it low-key.
And what if you go out for a wild, exciting, fun night of partying around town?
You are going to paint the town red.
Wonderful. And what is that delicious meal that combines breakfast and lunch?
My favorite, brunch.
And finally, that anxious, nervous feeling you get on Sunday evening before the work week starts.
The dreaded Sunday scaries.
Wow, David, you got a perfect score, 10 out of 10. And I bet our amazing listeners at home did fantastic too. You see, talking about the weekend doesn't have to be difficult. You just need a few solid phrases to express yourself.
Exactly, Anna. And to all our listeners out there, don't be afraid to practice. This weekend, try to use at least one or two of these phrases. Tell someone you are going to take it easy, or that you plan to sleep in. Even practicing in your head or in front of the mirror helps a lot.
That is such a motivational tip, David. Consistency is everything when learning English. Just a little bit every day makes a massive difference over time. Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of today's episode of the Daily English Practice Channel. We hope you enjoyed learning about weekend vocabulary with us today as much as we enjoyed teaching it.
Yes, thank you so much for spending your time with us. You are all doing an amazing job on your English learning journey. Keep pushing forward, keep smiling, and as always,
Take it easy. Bye-bye.